Hey, I'm Jason Ulsrud, and today I'm going to talk to you about a challenge that I'm having here in my woodworking shop, and that is looking good while I'm woodworking.
Or maybe even just looking like I know what the heck I'm doing when I'm woodworking.
And I'll tell you what, this coffee mug from Goodwill just ain't doing it. Which is why I bought the Man Cup by Milwaukee Tools. Well, actually, it's the Milwaukee Packout Tumbler. And so I feel way better about my Man Cup purchase. I thought I'd put this sucker to the test.
What is the best tool system in the woodworking industry?
Okay, well that was a little weird, but to help us keep track of our test results, I've made this state-of-the-art scoreboard. Now this scoreboard is going to help us track the test result of each of our drinking vessels. And those tests are, number one, functionality. So how well do each of these vessels function within a shop environment? Number two, durability. How well do each of these drinking vessels hold up in the rugged conditions of our shop environment? Number three, we're going to test cost. So we want to see how much each one of these costs. And then lastly, and most importantly, we've got style, which quite honestly, I think we're going to have to do first because I don't know that each of these are going to hold up in our durability test. I know, the tension and the anticipation, it's unbearable. So let's go ahead and get started with our first test, which is testing the style of each of our drinking vessels to see how well they make us look in the shop. And to help us out today, I brought in my twin brother, my identical twin brother, Justin. Hey, Justin. Hey, Jason. Dude, what are you wearing? This is too much. You don't have to pretend to be a carpenter. What are you talking about? This is the complete carpentry uniform ready for a woodworking shop. Dude, just go change, get in your regular shop clothes, and then we can do our first test, which is going to be of the Milwaukee Packout Tumbler. So get out of here. Go change. Dude, you're never pleased. Come on. Our first test is going to be testing the Milwaukee Packout Tumbler. So let's see how well Justin looks when using the Packout Tumbler in the shop. Next, we're going to see how Justin looks with the Yeti tumbler. Now, let's see how Justin looks with just a regular old coffee mug. And last but not least, let's see how Justin looks with just a regular glass of water. All right, so now, thanks to Justin, I think we have a really good idea of which drinking vessel is going to make us look the best when we're working in our woodworking shop. Now, I'd like to know what you think. Which one of these came out on top? Leave it in the comments below. All right, so now with the Milwaukee Packout Tumbler one step ahead of all the rest of our drinking vessels, let's go ahead and start the second part of our test, which is functionality. I'm going to set up the coffee maker so we can heat up a good old-fashioned cup of coffee, and I'm going to test the temperature over the next 30 minutes, an hour, and just see which one comes out on top. Now we just wait. for the coffee to brew.
You call me a flight risk, try to close my eyelids and let the
So I was getting ready for the test and pulled out my laser thermometer, and it's a no-go. So while this was brewing up, I went out and bought the Milwaukee infrared temp gun. I will be doing a review on that later. Let's get started. All right, so with our digital thermometer that actually works now, we're gonna pour this coffee into each of our drinking vessels, take our temperature, and then give it some time, and we'll retake it periodically to see how they're doing, how they're retaining the heat. So now that we have everything poured, it's time to take our temperature measurements to see where we stand just to start with. And we're reading 141.6. That's about 141.6 as well, should be. That's reading 74.3. 127.2. All right, and the time right now is 12:04. Now, to expedite our test here, to make it go a little bit faster, I'm gonna put everything into the freezer. We're gonna let it sit in here for 30 minutes, and then we'll retest everything, and we should have a good idea of which drinking vessel retains heat the best. See you in 30 minutes. All right, so it's now been 30 minutes, and I'm gonna grab our drinking vessels out of the freezer, take them back out into the shop so we can measure how well they retained heat. It's a little frosty. It is at 45.7 degrees. Our coffee mug is at 38.7. Still feels a little bit warm. And we are at 126.7. And then here with the Milwaukee Packout Tumbler, pretty good, 133.7. Now let me do some quick math in my head. Okay, carry the 1, that'd be 3. Here's the results of our functionality test, all right? The glass of water lost 81.5 degrees. The mug lost 87.3 degrees, and our Yeti lost 14.6 degrees. And for our Milwaukee Packout Tumbler, 7.9 degrees. The Milwaukee Packout Tumbler actually beat the Yeti in retaining the heat. I had no idea. Functionality goes to the Milwaukee Packout Tumbler. All right, so our next test is going to be the durability test. And I have this piece of white oak that I'm going to use to put our drinking vessels through the paces of a woodworking shop to see how well they do. So let's get started. All right, so first up is our regular glass, and we're just gonna swing our white oak around just to see how well it holds up in the workshop environment. Next up is our coffee mug. Now, let's give our Yeti its fair shot with the white oak piece of wood. Little dent down there in the bottom. Lastly, let's give the Milwaukee Packout its run at the durability test. That sucker ain't going anywhere. Now with that test in the books, I think it's fair to say that our Milwaukee Packout Tumbler fared the best. All right, so the last test that we're gonna do here is on the price. I had no idea what a regular drinking glass cost, no idea what an ugly coffee mug would cost. All right, so it looks like the Yeti is $48.89 on Amazon. For the Milwaukee Packout Tumbler, I know what I paid for it. Looks like we're looking at about $34.88, which is what I paid for it at Home Depot. And that wraps up our test of the Milwaukee Packout Tumbler. I'm curious, which one do you like best? Which one would you buy for your shop? Leave it in the comments below. Now it's time for me to get back to building stuff.